Okay, what's up everyone? So today I'm changing spark plugs on this car, and I'm gonna walk you through how to do everything basically. Okay, so first thing you will have to do is also want to mention that this car has 12 spark plugs, and you have to use the socket 5/8 spark plug socket for this, and yeah, and it has 12 spark plugs, V6 engine. Okay, first thing you want to do is pop the cover, engine cover. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna break this, so do it this way. Okay, now you can just put it aside like that for now. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna work on this side first. So you can see the coils right here. So you will have to disconnect each one of them. So starting with this, just push the tab and release it. Okay, I need 2 hands for that, so give me 1 second. Connectors are removed, set them aside. Now you have 3 of the coils disconnected. So use T37, use something like this to loosen the Torx bolts and hold these in place. And then I think after that we can just start popping these wires loose. Like the wires is I use long needle, long pliers, and this way I can just pry them out. Another thing to watch out is every coil right here, it's the same, you know, so don't worry about mixing them, but what you have to worry is about these wires. So the best way to remember is the wire that's on the top, it always goes toward you first, so it's always gonna be first, and then the down this one right here, it's gonna go to the next spark plug. The same with the other right here with other wires. So this one is gonna be first, and then the bottom one is gonna be second. Basically, that's how you do it. So with this, you just grab them, pull them like this, and it comes loose. This is one of them. Okay, and then I already loosened these coils, so they're loose pretty much. So now we're gonna go to the second one, do the same thing. Basically, get underneath over there, or to get easier access, you can actually remove this bolt all the way. So if you wanna remove this bolt all the way, this coil is not gonna be in the way, basically. Right here. So let me remove this and then I'll show you. Okay, so this is the bolt from the coil. This is the coil itself. As you can see, it's loose now. Now I can just kinda drop it here, and now as you can see I have more space to remove that spark plug wire. Well, since this brake booster line is in the way and fuel line is in the way, it's a little harder to remove these wires, especially from the rear coil. 2 of them I removed already, but I also had to use the vice grips, but when I grabbed them I was trying to be like really gentle, and that way I just wiggled. I tried wiggling these wires and stuff, and they would come off easily. Okay, so I just have to work on the last one, which is really hard to get to. So we'll try doing that, and then also it's I forgot to mention, it's important to make sure that you have to wait until the engine like cools down, because it's aluminum heads and stuff, so it's better to just wait until the engine is cold, and then you can start removing spark plugs. So the back one with the last spark plug wire, here's what I did. I used the vice grips like these. They're very small vice grips, and I went on to the back right there. I put my hand in there and vice grips, and this way I just was wiggling it out and it came out like that, because there's just like literally like no room. The other thing is that you can use the pliers like really long like these, but you need the pliers with the like smaller corner and stuff right here, because this is like too much corner, so that's why you can I had to like improvise and use something else. But I got it out, and now like basically you can't really see the spark plug holes from here, but you're gonna use, like I said, 5/8 socket, and just wait until the engine is cold, and also, if it's possible, blow out any dirt from there, and that's it. You can start replacing spark plugs. And you don't have to worry, like I said, about mixing these, because they're all the same. Just keep in mind about these wires like I told you. So yeah, let's start removing those spark plugs. Okay, so I used the 3/8 ratchet and extension over there. It's really hard to see that hole, but you just have to feel it by hand basically. So yep, and I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna remove the old spark plug, and just right away I'm gonna put the new one in. And for the new spark plug, I'm gonna use a little bit of grease on the threads, because I don't want anything to rust or corrode. Because I've seen cases where you would have to rethread the spark plug holes and stuff because of people just not using any grease. So now we can just undo it by hand basically all the way. Okay, here's our spark plug, as you can see. So sometimes it can be even worse if you don't use the grease or anything like that. But so this is the old one, and also don't forget, when you put new spark plugs, use the washer, and just make sure when you remove each spark plug that this washer comes with it, so it doesn't get stuck in there, so you don't put two washers on a spark plug. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to put a new one in now. Okay, so this is the new one if you want to compare. So okay, let me just set it right here. So you can see that electrode, basically the gap is much bigger now, and this is the new one. As you can see, this is the old one. There's almost nothing in the center. Okay, so as you can see, it has a new washer. Now I'm gonna use a little bit of this grease. It's not gonna hurt anything. As you can see, I put a little bit of grease, and now this spark plug is ready to be put in. Now when putting your spark plug, just be so careful. Don't hit it or anything, and don't hit the electrode or anything, and just put in the hole. Put it in, start it by hand, and just don't cross thread anything. Then when you can't spin it by hand, just use your ratchet. Okay, that should be good. No need to go crazy. So this is the other spark plug that I just removed. As you can see, it has some oil and threads, but there's nothing basically on the electrode, no oil on the electrode, so that's good. And yeah, I think it's good that I'm changing these spark plugs. Okay, So again, for each spark plug I'm putting a little bit of grease. Okay, second one goes in. Okay, need 2 hands. I removed 5 spark plugs. On some of them there's oil on the threads, but there's nothing on the electrodes, so that's good. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything, but there's a little bit of oil. So for all of these front ones, I used this thing, so extension and then another smaller extension like this. For the last one it's a little harder because there's less space, so you will have to use just this extension without the smaller one. If it's wrong, you can still use the same extensions and ratchet. I just thought it was not enough space, but actually there is enough space. So and then after this one, I'm gonna after I replace the spark plug, I'm gonna show you how to put back the coils. Okay, so now I need to remove this smaller extension because the spark plug is gonna be in the way, so I cannot remove it like this. I need to remove that smaller extension. Looks like it's not a reducer, just 3/8 extension, really small one. Now you can remove your thing right here. Yeah, it has a little oil right here, but nothing on the electrode, so that's good. Okay, so let's put the last one in. Let's go to the coils. New one in. So it's a little tough. Also, you want to be careful. You don't want to leave any dirt on the electrode. Okay, last one is almost in. All spark plugs are in on this side. So you want to start with your coil, with your furthest coil from the front of the engine. So let's do that. And as I said, the upper wire goes to the cylinder, which is closer this way. The bottom one goes towards the car. When putting this coil back, you want to connect the wires first, and then after that you're gonna put that screw in and just mount it on the valve cover. Otherwise it's gonna be hard for you to connect the wires later. As you can see, the wires are connected, and now we can put this bolt back. As you can see, this is not an Allen key, this is Torx actually. So there's just not a lot of space, that's why I'm using this one. So tighten that. Also, when putting the spark plug wires in, okay, so when you put it in, you gotta make sure it clicks. So you have to push it as hard as you can. Make sure it clicks. Okay, it just clicked. I felt it. Maybe you don't hear it on the camera, but it just did. And yeah, so that's how this side is done basically. And also don't forget your connectors right here. 1, 2, okay, and 3 basically. Okay, so that's how this side is done basically. Make sure everything is tight and stuff, and you're good to go. You can jump to the second side. On this side, it's actually a little more difficult. Well, because you have air cleaner. Doesn't matter if you have basically, it doesn't matter if you have custom or whatever, or stock intake, you will still have to take it off. So for mine, I just have to loosen this bolt right here, and then basically loosen this clamp, disconnect the MAP sensor, and then there's Torx over there holding this tube on, so I have to take that off as well. And I'll take this thing, and that will give me access. So this is loose. Now we can actually yeah, take off this, connect the MAP sensor. Just have to basically push the tabs and release it, just like so. Put it to the side. Okay. Actually, what I think I'll do, I'll just loosen that Torx bolt, and I might just swing this thing somewhere. Move this right here, this Torx bolt, and that's E10. So I'm removing that bolt now, and bolt is out. Now you have to pop this loose right here. Okay, so there's this thing that you have to loosen, spread out, and then you can pull it, and then now this thing is free, all of it, and that's the intake. So now you have better access to everything. Now this thing, I'll just move it out of the way like that. Okay, and basically same procedure. Start removing the connectors. Connectors out. Now again, start loosening these. It's actually much easier to drop them, these coils, and then remove the wires. Okay. Well, actually, to this first coil, it's easier to get to the wires. Just use the pliers. There you go. There's your one. Then I'll do the rest. Let's take off all of these coils. There's actually more space for you to use your tool. There's no fuel lines or anything, so it's just the air intake you have to remove, and now like there's actually a lot more space than on the other side. Okay. As you can see, on this side it's easier to see the spark plugs here, and I'm still working on that wire. So in this case, like on the other side, you gotta go like from here. You have to put the there you have to, let me show you. There's the vice grip, put it on the metal part, clamp it, and just work it. Okay, so you have to work it like that, otherwise there's just no space. Okay, so last one is out, and if you want to take a look at this one, it's oily right here, and one of the spark plug wires is wet from oil. That's because the oil from the valve cover was dripping on it and just got to the point right here. So you want to wipe it down before you put it in. And as you can see, yeah, my valve cover is like leaking really bad, so I'm gonna have probably I'll just replace it sometime. Now let's get those spark plugs. Here's one. Okay. Okay, so here we go. All of my spark plugs are new.